Record it now. So awesome. Well, this is great. Yeah, if it's one person, two people, 20 people, that doesn't matter. So happy to spend this time with all of you and answer any specific questions you may have about ketones, or maybe I can talk for 45 minutes and just educate you on all the things that I know. My wife Erica will be joining us shortly. She had to take our youngest son, who's doing behind the wheel training, on his behind the wheel session for tonight. So she'll be popping in. I don't know, within the next 15 minutes. So why don't we go ahead and get started?
Great. All right. Is Maggie on?
Oh, you know what?
Did she not get on yet?
I don't think she did.
Oh, she didn't? Okay.
I wonder if she's
That's all right.
Technical difficulties or.
And I know, a few other ones couldn't make it at the last minute. So
that's okay.
I think we, we're good. Okay.
So so I guess how many of all of you are drinking ketones? Pam, I know you are. Chris, I know you are. Scott, you know he is.
I am.
Brenda, you are. Okay.
Yep.
I've done 3 days.
Day number.
Oh, wow.
Day number 3. All right. And Brenda, how long have you been drinking?
Since April 30th.
Oh, so you've been drinking for quite some time. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, then you're going to tell us all of the things, because you've been drinking. You're like an expert at this point.
And my mom started. When did you start, Mom? Like end of March?
Yeah.
Because I think you ordered on the 19th of March and then started right after that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, Erica.
I just flying in here.
We just covered intros and we are rocking. So we've got Brenda, Pam.
Hi.
Okay, hi Pam. Nice to meet you.
You too.
Thank you.
And then we have iPhone Pam. She's the iPhone facility.
Yeah. Hi, Travis.
And my mom is on too. And
hi.
Scott's
Good
in the
to
room.
see you again.
Awesome.
This might be.
And I'm just gonna make sure the dogs are out of here.
And this might be Maggie here. Somebody else is popping in. So listen. And so in the interest of keeping everybody, the most use of everyone's time here, obviously this would be a great opportunity to ask any questions. No question's a dumb question. I'll just give you a little bit of background on Erica and I and how we were introduced to ketones and our experience. Like I had mentioned initially, we have been drinking ketones for 3.5 years. So we started drinking ketones in 2020, the summer of 2020, right during the middle of the pandemic, which was great for us, right? Because everyone was quarantined and we were finding ourselves at home and paying a little bit more attention to our health and wellness and trying to figure out how we can reincorporate exercise into our life. And lo and behold, some dear friends of ours who happen to be 20 years younger than us had mentioned, hey, you guys drink ketones? And we're like, what the heck are ketones? Yeah, sure, we'll try anything once. Long story short, we ended up sharing a box of ketones to start. Little skeptical, little unsure of what a ketone even was. We had heard of the keto diet. We maybe knew a thing or two about what it potentially was, but didn't know any of the science or what a ketone even was. We made a pact with one another that we were going to share the box of ketones, but not really explain to each other what we were experiencing. I didn't want her to be like, oh my gosh, I feel amazing. Like this product's great. And I'm like, I don't even feel anything, or vice versa. Right. So we were going to just share the box and compare notes at the end of the end of basically 10 days. By about day 4, we were sitting drinking a cup of coffee, and I basically looked at Erica and said, well, can we talk about this? And she's like, do you feel something? I'm like, Erica, I'm like, seriously, we need to talk about this. And so, long story short, I feel amazing. I was experiencing mental clarity, energy, We were doing some workouts in our basement, and I'm like, gosh, I'm just cranking out my workouts. Like, this is amazing. And she's like, oh my gosh, me too. She's like, right when you share, like,
basically the same thing. Yeah. I mean, we were not supposed to talk about it until day 10. And so when Bill kind of broke that, silence and said, I just really want to talk about what you're feeling. And I'm like, why? And anyways, truth be told, what he shared with me and I shared with him, like it was like the same carbon copy, like exactly. And really, I guess what we want to share with that is if you're doing it individually, you have all of us to kind of reflect upon. If your spouse isn't doing it or another person in your household. For Pam, her and her mom can kind of compare notes. So when Bill and I started, it was like, is this really, like, am I really not hungry? And do I really like not crave things? And so we were bouncing that off of each other. But really beyond that, we were introduced into the community of Prove It, which was just the science and validation from the doctors and the videos, and everything just kind of was an evolution of how our experience and our journey kind of brought us even to this moment. For Bill and I to sit on a Zoom and to help other people learn. When we were first starting, we knew nothing. So we probably were exactly like you are on the other side of the camera, just kind of coming to ask all of your really good questions, I'm sure, and learn. Bill and I wouldn't have been capable to hold a call like this. And now we're really comfortable after 3.5 years in. So Pam, I know, has admitted that she did watch us from time to time on social media, because we did take to the platform of sharing our story on Facebook. Because why? Because when a lot of our family and friends were asking us constantly, what are ketones? Why are you drinking them? Does it work? Da 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 da. And they gave us a really nice compliment. They said, if you too are drinking that drink and coming on the internet or Facebook and saying how good you feel, I know it's real because you too wouldn't lie. And I said, oh, like that is the nicest of compliments. So be really cognizant of the person who you watch and how people see you, because it really is a way that this platform of Prove It does help other people learn about the product. So it's not in a store. The business is from helping other people you know and love find out about the drink, because they trust you. And so Pam, I know, has shared, yeah, I knew you guys were probably doing this and loving it. And I know she said, I wish I would have started sooner. And to be honest with you, Bill and I will still say, gosh, how come we didn't find out about these when this company started? Where were we? Were we living under a rock? And we literally just did not know that a ketone drink, without having to do a diet, you can drink this drink and it gives you all of those benefits. Now, a lot of things have to be a moment for you to step into what you want. So the drink isn't Tinkerbell, like it's not like the fairy dust, but it almost is to the point where you can take all of the fairy dust that the drink gives you, and you then have to say, what do I really want? What could I change if I drank this drink? And if I tried a little bit? What, who did I used to be when I was 25, when I was 30, that energy, those 10 pounds less, or whatever pounds is the pounds for you to lose. You do get to step into that in whatever realm you want to kind of lean in. But this is not meant to be strict. It's not meant to be a diet. It's not meant to remove you from all of the Thanksgiving things and Christmas things. And there will be something every month from now until this time next year. It'll be a 4th of July party or a something or a something. But what it's done for us, it's just revolutionized the way that we think we need to eat things, that we think we need to drink things. It has made us sleep better. It has made us, calmer, less anxious, more present, more focused. And yeah, the journey is just really that good. So that's our story. Now, I think we should just start out, and hi, Jean, who just joined. And
Hi.
we have a couple of other people that came
Hey,
on.
Jean.
Hi.
Thank you all for joining on. So I guess we just want to start out with kind of, it's an open forum for questions. And hi, Maggie.
Hello.
But we want to, so first of all, maybe we should just do like 2 basic overviews about the products that are the main products. I think that would be helpful. And then we just really want to open it up and help you with your questions. We both are comfortable to speak on so many things, ketones related and health related, because we've helped so many people. However, Bill and I are not doctors. And so we can share many, many things and many benefits as if we understand the benefits for the certain ailment. And usually in this forum, it's a comfortable setting that somebody might, share something personal. You're not required to at all on this Zoom call, but if you feel like you want to, you certainly can, and we can kind of point you to following up with a video that will help you. But yeah, we're not the doctors, but we do know enough to kind of gear you to understanding that you're going to be feeling some benefits as it correlates to what you want to learn tonight. But let's just start with the pack of NAT. The NAT pack, so this is the charged version of raspberry lemonade. There will not be a test at the end of this. However, many people call this ketones or they call this NAT, right? Because obviously that's what it says. Any pack that has a bright colored background has caffeine, as I think you all know by now. And so just by opening your drawer, your pantry where you keep your ketones, if it's colorful, it's caffeinated. And if it's white, it's not. But the NAT stands for Nutritionally Advanced Technology. And when you think about that, we reference kind of one of these things, a cell phone. So I always say, before cell phones, right, you had to use the phone in your kitchen with the cord or put a stamp on a letter or walk to somebody's house and see if they were home to talk to them. And now you can just in a split second text somebody and get an answer. That's called the technology. Obviously, our phones are an advanced technology. You can do the hard keto diet, but now you don't have to. You can drink NAT. It's a nutritionally advanced technology. It's naturally fermented, pure therapeutic ketones. These ketones are the only bioidentical ketones on the market in the world that match the ones that your very own livers can make if you did choose to do it the harder way, which is nutritionally by eating a strict regimen of moderate protein, high fat, and low carb, which you would nutritionally get your body into what's called the state of ketosis. And now, because of this technology, which was invented 8 years ago, you can rip open the top, dump it in water. We do recommend the electrolyte, which is called Mitoplex, but that's okay if you don't have it yet. You can use what's a Powerade Zero or a common electrolyte at any of the big box stores or grocery stores that you're used to buying. Within 1 hour of consuming the powder into the liquid, so I'll just use my cup as an example. Can't see it. It's one of these stainless steel cups, which I like because it keeps the drink cold. But when I consume this entire amount within about an hour, doesn't matter if you consume it within 17 minutes or 27 minutes. If you're both doing a great job, if you drink it fast, if you drink it a little longer, but when you consume it within an hour, your body's being put into ketosis because of the ketones that you're drinking. Okay. So that's really the premise of what the pack of NAT is. Out of Pruitt's lineup of products, it's the only product, well, besides, I suppose, the Keto Up, that elevates your ketone blood levels when you drink it. They have a protein, if you've been on the website and you've seen a protein, and they have, which is a protein with some ketones, I should say. They have a coffee creamer called Keto Cream, but it does not contain ketones. And I'm not sure if there would be a couple of other products, but anyways, the NAT elevates your ketone blood levels to the highest measurable level. You can measure it with a blood meter. And you stay in the state of ketosis from one drink for approximately 5 to 6 hours. Okay. So the reason that the mitoplex is so important is because the state of ketosis really changes your body's natural buoyancy of electrolytes. So do you want to explain a little more about
Yeah,
that?
I mean, so like Erica said, like even when you do the keto diet to put your body in ketosis, when that happens, your natural electrolytes, all of the minerals in your body, they do get flushed out and they do become imbalanced. And so you do have to replenish your electrolytes through a supplement. And so, and if you don't, you will actually feel some of the effects that are maybe the opposite of what you would expect to experience when you're in ketosis, which is high energy, great mental clarity. If you've got that imbalance, you'll maybe have like a headache, or maybe you'll feel a little lethargic. It's simply because your ketone, or I'm sorry, your electrolytes are imbalanced. And the mitoplex, or like Erica said, like a Powerade Zero or any other low carb, low sugar electrolyte will help replenish that so that you keep that state, your electrolyte state in balance. And so that's about the only rule. If there's a rule to drinking ketones, a lot of people are like, oh, so wait a second, I got to do the keto diet. I gotta make sure that I'm eating low carb, low sugar, and I got to count my macros, and I have to do it. No. This is a drink. The drink does that for you. You're guaranteed. This is the only product backed by 9 U.S. patents that'll guarantee to put you in ketosis within 1 hour of drinking. There's no other product on the market that can do that. The product has the U.S. patents because it was originally created using a federal grant for the U.S. Navy SEALs. And we can talk about the whole history of where this came from. But basically, those scientists sold the rights to this product to cash in on the opportunity on what they discovered. An entrepreneur by the name of Brian Underwood bought the patents, tried to figure out what to do with this. Obviously, this is not something you can just go put on an end cap at Target because it doesn't come with the education that you're all getting today from people that have been educated about what it is and how to consume it. But there really are no rules other than
drinking electrolyte.
Yeah. But what you will find is when you are in ketosis, you will feel satiated, so you won't be as hungry. Your cravings for carbs and sugar change. And so, to Erica's point earlier, where she said, what are you willing to adapt in your daily lifestyle based on what the foundation or what this drink does for you? When you go and you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm not even sure I want this bowl of pasta, or I even want these French fries or the mashed potatoes. Then guess what? You don't have to eat it. And what you'll find is that as you become more what we refer to as keto adapted, and Maggie and I kind of talked about this a little earlier when I was saying, hey, just give yourself a nice period of time where your body gets used to operating on this premium fuel source. It's like, once your car starts operating off of like the high octane 91 octane gasoline with no ethanol, it runs much better. It's the same as the human body. When you're not running off of glycogen and glucose and carbs, and you're running off of ketones, you actually don't need the carbs. You don't need the sugar. And so as your body starts to give you those signals that you don't even crave it, you don't need it. And so, we don't do the keto diet, not even close, but we definitely are what I would refer to as like dirty keto. Like, we're very low carb. Like, it's very unusual for us to have, a lot of carbs during any sort of day. And our meals are smaller because, quite frankly, we don't need all of the calories and we don't need all of the food to get through a day because we're operating off of this for our energy. And so our life has changed. And for 3.5 years, we have not only sustained the weight that we have lost, we've now have sustained and preserved muscle that we built even at the ripe old age of 48 and 49. And that's
I know.
Right old.
So yeah, so if anyone's like, well, wait a second, so I have to, I got on this tangent because of like the rules. Like, there really are no rules other than if you're scratching your head like, oh my gosh, they said I would have energy and I just am lethargic. It's because of your electrolyte just being imbalanced. Easy correction, and away you go.
Yeah, and as you're new, and as you're Maggie's not new. Okay, Pam and Chris are not new. Maggie has been drinking, and Brenda for about how long?
April for Brenda.
I've been since April.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm July.
Okay, so you could probably even share like if a little bit, if either of you want to. Do you feel as though you're in a little bit, and Chris too, especially if you want to, anybody that wants to step forward and say, especially for the couple of new people, because Pam and Jean, you're very new to ketones. Was it within this last week? Okay. So whoever would like to, just feel free. Like, how long did you feel like you kind of went through that little bit of adaptation to where you just knew, like, I'm not missing other things anymore? And now, do you just feel like you're clicking along different? What would you say, just anybody, about your journey?
My mom will speak first.
I would say that it's one of the easiest diets that I've been on, because you have the ketone drinks and you're not hungry and you eat less. And I just feel I have so much more energy, and I've lost 32 pounds. And yeah, I mean, it's just really great.
And I have to tell you,
That's
I know,
awesome.
32 pounds. But I tell you, my mom called me one day and she's like, Pam, I'm stuck. I'm stuck at 17 pounds. I can't get up to 20. I'm like, Mother, did you just hear yourself? You're stuck at 17 pounds. You've never been stuck at 17 pounds because you've gained it back. So that was just like an aha moment. And here she is at 32 pounds now because, and I think that's something to just note, because not everybody understands the up and down and how it's very easy to look at the scale, because we've all been trained to look at the scale. And that is a really hard thing for a lot of people, is to not look at the scale. And, my mom too was always about the pounds, but I'm like, well, how are your clothes fitting? Well, I'm down this many sizes. So I think, that's, just something super important to keep in mind too, that it's not always about the pounds.
And what I really liked was Pam would send me recipes, and I haven't had a bad one. They all taste so good, and they're just so different than what I had been eating, and that I actually enjoyed the food. And when it was my birthday, I thought, well, I'm going to go and I'm going to have my eggs Benedict. And I actually didn't like it. I mean, it was like, oh, this is too much bread. I didn't, it was like, I couldn't believe I didn't like it.
Yeah.
So Chris, you would say you're keto adapted enough, like your daily regimen too, not just for your birthday treat for eggs Benedict, but you don't miss bread and some things, right? Like you thought you would.
That's right. That's right. And at night, I don't sit there and have my bowl of ice cream anymore because I'm not hungry, and I don't need it.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Chris.
So I'm very happy with it. Yes. And I love all the different flavors.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anybody else? Brenda or Maggie? You guys have both been crushing it.
Trying to.
Well, you have. You really have.
I will say that I stick cravings once in a while.
Okay.
I mean, if there's treats at work, I have to stay away, because if I see that apple bread or cranberry walnut bread, I still want it.
Yeah, that's
So,
okay.
or somebody's eating some potato chips, I still want that salt. So I haven't experienced, I'm not as hungry, and because I'm drinking the ketones, it motivates me to eat healthier and watch what I'm putting, but I still have cravings.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. Do you drink 1 or 2 packs?
2.
Awesome. And have you ever tried inserting a protein into your day?
Yep.
Okay, because that will kind of help. So maybe we talked about that, I think, or I can't remember when we had a call. But sometimes you know, first of all, it's okay that you have some of those cravings, and it's not meant to be perfect, 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 perfect. And those darn people at the dental office that bring in all the treats, what's going on there?
And they make cookies,
It's
and you
probably
need to
Pam.
take them home.
But you know, that is kind of just, it's kind of like it's a sign of love when people bring in food, like that they love each other. I mean, obviously it's a part of all of our celebrations in life, you know. But you know, they should bring in kale chips or something, or string cheese, but they don't. People bring in breads and donuts and cookies and things like that. But it's okay. You should not ever feel guilty about having your cravings. Think of all the positives, like you said, like your appetite has changed and how you feel, and that you've been consistent, and that you really are noticing those things. Pam did also mention, and you hadn't mentioned this yet, so not to reference that it's about you, but a lot of people get so stuck with seeing a weight or a number. And it's kind of cute how Chris even just said, like, I'm stuck at 17 pounds, instead of like, holy, I'm at 17 pounds. I'm going to feel so good with 17 pounds gone. But she was already, her evolution was wanting more. That's the coolest part. So where you are right now is just like a blimp or a dot on the journey of where you're still going. And I just say at this point, think of something that you want to do a little differently, even if it's just 1 or 2 days a week. It might be drink a little bit more or water. It might be add a little bit more movement. It might be just say no to treats on Tuesdays. It's never a treat on a Tuesday. And then just eat them on Thursdays or whatever. But play a little brain trickery. If you want like the next little chunk to happen, it's almost like a mental game for yourself. Like one example with water that I love to share with people, and I'm not saying you're not drinking enough water, but we start to say to people, when you get on your journey, add water, and we'll say, well, how much water do you really drink? Because water pushes your fat loss further. If you don't know that, water fills up your fat cells, and then they kind of get squishy like a water balloon. And then when your fat cells have too much water, they pop, just like a little kid when they filled up a water balloon from the end of a hose. So if you're adding more water, despite being in an office where you have to work with patients and all of those things, like I'm not saying ruin that experience at work and have a full bladder, that would be uncomfortable. But then how about on a Saturday or Sunday when you can control that, really up your water, right? When you're not working. And I say, go put a rubber band, a pink rubber band on 4 water bottles on Sunday. And just when you wake up and you open your fridge and you see 3 or 4 water bottles that have a pink rubber band on them, you know by Sunday that you have to drink them. It's a really good like mental game to like test your visual that you really drink 3 or 4 bottles of water. And then Monday, put yellow rubber bands around it. And it's kind of fun. You get competitive with yourself to do better, just kind of like how Chris just wanted to get off of her 17-pound plateau. I mean, she probably didn't even believe, like she was saying, like, I just want more. You'll do start with 2 water bottles. And in 2 or 3 weeks, you'll be like, 2 water bottles. I can drink those by 11. And then by 4 o'clock, just drink 2 more. You'll surprise yourself at how bad you want it. And stay off the scale for 2 or 3 weeks and get back on the scale, and you'll realize, like, oh my gosh, I think I just lost more weight. So for Brenda's comment, it's just a lot of truth. And that's also awesome because not everybody shows up and says, wow, I don't crave anything. Ketones really do kind of take you off of, for the most time, not wanting sugary or heavy foods, but not all the time. And so it's totally normal to feel like, listen, I have to keep it real on this call. Like I still want to eat these foods.
Yeah.
So
just one other thing, just to add on that is the whole concept too of sort of resetting your metabolism. You can keep going and drinking ketones daily, just like you are, 2 a day, which is optimal, right? Like that's amazing. But if you do get to that point where you're like, oh man, I still have some of those cravings, we can kind of point you to some education around the whole concept of a reboot or like a fasting concept. That might help you to kind of reset your cravings and your desires for some of those treats. It's kind of next level and
well, I think they've done some.
Have you done a reboot? You've done reboots, yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yep. So, and that's hard. And it's so there's for the gals that are new, you know, they have beyond the gnat and the mitoplex that we talked about. You know, this is the kind of the bread and butter product. The reboot is a kit that's an assisted fast where you just don't chew food, and it's called the 60-hour reboot. And it sounds absolutely insane. Like people can't get past hearing 60 hours. But I break it down right away at the beginning. You sleep Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday night. So if you sleep 7 hours a night, 8 hours a night, 6 hours a night, just deduce that off of 60 right away. You really start your fast on Sunday night after you eat dinner and after you've eaten anything you want on Sunday. But after dinner, you say goodbye to food until technically Wednesday morning. So you really just don't chew food all day Monday, all day Tuesday. So that is your 60 hours. Many people lose anywhere between 2 to 3 to 11 to 12 pounds. A good friend of mine, I just checked in on her yesterday. Pam knows her. Her name is Dawn, lives down in Janesville, and she just lost 10 pounds. So it sounds intense and crazy, but that's an auxiliary extra type of regimen that once you really do want to see something more, we say try a reboot. Like you'd be so surprised at how easy it is to do. Last thing about the reboot, and then we're going to go to questions. The benefits of a reboot is digestive rest. Your body is always digesting food, so you get digestive rest. Only your strong cells survive a reboot, so it's kind of like a little immune boost because the weak cells don't survive. It's a metabolic reset. So Bill was kind of saying that in reference to piggybacking off of how Brenda shared that sometimes people do a reboot just to kind of get set straight. So maybe coming out of the holidays, coming out of Christmas, you think, oh, I just ate the cookies and I did the things and I went to all the parties. I think I kind of want to try a reboot to jumpstart something. And it really gives you like a metabolic reset because you kind of come off of that and you're like, you almost make like this face that I'm making, like, ugh, like that I wouldn't even eat that, but I ate that last week. Like it really just gets you back to like that. You just kick it out of your wheelhouse of even craving to eat it. And what is one of the last? Oh, well, I guess it would just be a kind of a fat loss plateau. Yeah. So that's when we talk about an extra thing like doing intermittent fasting, which is a choice if you want to do that. A 24-hour fast, which is a choice if you want to do that. These are on your own or with other people that want to try it. But really, you guys, really, just to go back to this again, this is it. Like Bill and I just started drinking this pack with an electrolyte. And in fact, we just drank this pack for 3 or 4 months with Powerade Zero. That's it. Yep. And all of a sudden we were like, what is happening? And here we are today. So to be mindful of everybody's time, because we like to keep these for about 45 minutes-ish or so, I would love anybody to come forward with just any question at all.
If no one else has one, I have one that so sometimes, I'm on the Facebook pages or whatever, and I did see this keto chill, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty interesting because, for at nighttime, kind of relax, sleep well, whatever. But would you ever drink more than 2 ketones a day?
Yes.
So you can.
You can drink.
Oh, yeah.
But okay, do not get freaked out by this, especially because you're gonna go $5 times 6 pack. Okay, now listen. There's people that drink 6 or 7 of these a day.
Seriously?
Yes, but here's what happens is your body, you know, when you eat a vitamin or ingest a vitamin, swallow a vitamin, that's the way I should say it. You take a vitamin C or a multivitamin, and then the next 2 peas are bright, bright yellow. Your body didn't need all that extra, so you just peed it out. Ketones are not, they're water soluble, versus when you eat a ketogenic diet that's moderate protein, high fat, a lot of people mess up on the fat, and that's where your cholesterol can go up, and you know, the doctor poo-poos all the fat, because fat is going to stick on all your organs and on your body, okay? Unless you're really doing ketogenic diet perfect, because then you eat fat and then you start burning your own fat. It's like a totally weird concept, because your body is going to the fat reserve for energy because you've depleted glucose. Okay, but anyways, your question was, is too much more than 2 packs? Is it too much? Bill and I kind of almost on the daily drink 3. But I don't want that to make anybody feel bad if they're only drinking 1. 1 works like a charm. 2 works like, hands down, it's the best regimen to get to 2. 1 sometime in the morning, 1 sometime in the afternoon. Your time is your time. I might drink mine at 5:30 in the morning and at 1 in the afternoon. And Pam or Bill or Brenda might drink theirs at 10 in the morning and at 4 in the afternoon. This will always work when you put it with water and drink it. These 2 things have no idea what time your phone says or what the clock on the wall says. Just you do it, which is the adjustment of your life. Like, when do you want to drink it? When it works best for you. But really, to hit home your question, I think you would be very sick if you drank 70 something packs, we've heard at our trainings. It's an obscure amount, like almost no human would really ever drink 72 packs in a day. So you
yeah, exactly. Why would you do that? Yeah,
you can't mess it up.
That whole concept. Maybe,
but I think she was wondering also about the keto chill.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and just, can you fit in a 3rd one and not have adverse effects, or, you know, I mean, could there be adverse effects from drinking 3 a day versus 2 a day, or, you know?
No, because like what Erica said, they are water soluble. So whatever your body doesn't need or what it doesn't utilize, you eliminate. And so the interesting thing though about that, just to take it one step further, is having that late or like early evening ketone, whether it's a keto chill or just even a caffeine-free nap. Is the effect it has on your sleep, which to me was a little like, wait a second, like I get such good energy when I'm in ketosis, like good clean energy, and it's not a crash. Like, why the heck would I take it before I went to bed? And Dr. Ryan Lowry, who he's one of the doctors on staff. He's actually one of the authors of the Ketogenic Bible book. He did this video about, he's like, well, do you realize how much energy it takes the human body to get into that deep REM sleep? It's amazing how much like energy it takes to get into that sleep. And that's why when you're in ketosis, it helps aid the ability to get to that next level of a deep sleep. And I was like, oh my gosh. So now, you know, it's not uncommon for us to about 90 minutes before we go to bed, we'll have a caffeine-free ketone.
Well, I'm drinking a caffeine-free right now.
And she's going to bed in 15 minutes.
No. But keto, I kind of want to, but I won't. Keto chill is, I can't speak super eloquently to it, but it is just like this neat little blend of whatever this extra is in there. It's kind of like a calming effect, somewhat similar to a melatonin. And I will tell you, they're pricey little buggers. I'm just keeping it real. It's $5.
Yes, I saw.
Yeah, but there's worse thing. There's people at a bar right now spending $7 on a glass of wine. So you get my point. If you're wanting to buy a keto chill and have it on the whatever night of the week you want to have it, or every other night, then you do you. I got highly into keto chill when it first came out, but it was it was just over the top. Like I was like, okay, I feel great from the ketones. Try not to like keep buying all the products. I'm just telling you. The extra products are way fun. And I would just honestly say, go try anything extra you want. And Maggie, you would love Keto Chill. And I actually put it in the fridge. So the true word of chill, I keep it cold, but the product is called Keto Chill. And you don't have to chill it, but it's delicious. And it's kind of a berry taste. And it's like a little shot for those of you that don't know what we're talking about. And it's a little tiny bottle about this big, and you just kind of drink it down direct. You don't mix it with water.
Okay.
Awesome. And actually, I'll link you to a video so you can learn more.
I have found by doing when I did the reboot, I haven't had any of the Keto Pros yet, and they're so creamy that I find I have that for a snack after dinner sometimes, and that really keep you from wanting to snack.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that, Brenda. Honestly, people love Keto Pros for breakfast because
I can see that.
Yep, they love there's like chocolate swirl, banana, cream, carrot cake, key lime pie, birthday cake, vanilla, something or another.
There's a mint cream, and I don't like mint, but I had that mint cream and it was so good.
I'm glad you love it. So, and that's exactly how you said it. If people don't drink it for breakfast or late afternoon when they just are getting cravings, they drink it to avoid Culver's in the evening.
Yep.
And it really is good. I'm glad you're really truthful because it's not chalky or yucky. It's so good.
The flavors are awesome. When I did the 60-hour reboot, I was amazed at how good. And I'm not a banana person, but the banana cream was good. I mean, the chai, please beg them to bring chai back. Would you?
Yes.
I would buy boatloads of that to have during the winter. And that leads me to one more question, because I started drinking, like they had the Swiss cacao or whatever.
Yeah.
Can you like drink it in hot water?
Yeah, you can for sure.
Does that do anything to it? Okay.
No, it
Because I
doesn't
would love
wreck
to
the
have.
Yeah, great question. It doesn't wreck the ketones at all, but they say don't heat the ketones. So heat your water.
Right.
So in other words, right, don't put your ketones powder in and then put that whole thing like in the micro, like
You're
it's
right.
water
Yep.
hot, and then just stir in your ketones.
Okay, good. Because
Yeah,
that would be a nice nighttime drink too.
yeah, and they could have did it really easy and just called it Swiss cocoa, and it's spelled cacao, so it's Swiss cacao. That's okay, we all learn it. But
Yeah.
delicious. Swiss cacao is amazing in almond milk, coconut milk, regular milk, oat milk. Everybody has a milk choice. I will drink it in almond milk and blend it, and then I'll put cinnamon on top.
That sounds good.
And you
Okay.
would probably love a little dash of cinnamon on your chai, but I don't know if you have any left to try. Probably not.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for anybody new, what are some of your questions if you're comfortable, and if you have any, and have you started drinking the ketones, and how is it going?
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Because this is interesting me. The creamy ones would be okay to drink that like in your morning coffee if you just added it?
Yeah, you could do the protein in there. However, I don't know that I've heard a lot of people doing that. I do think it would work. There is we mentioned this earlier, but we've said a ton of things, and it's probably a lot, especially you're hearing it for the first time. There is a keto creamer, and it's just called Keto Cream, and it's keto as it is spelled, and then they spell cream with a K. And so you'll see that pack on the ordering screen. It's limited flavors. There's lots of good flavors, but then everything good usually resides itself eventually in what's called the vault. And so you get to have access to it on sometimes for some customers. If you fall in love with a flavor, like we love one called Nut Latte of the Keto Cream, but we were careful to overly fall in love with it because like Maggie, you're like, please bring it back. And anyway, so sometimes they'll play a little bit of strategy that they'll put a flavor away for a while and bring it back out for a big sale. It's a marketing thing, obviously. But to answer your question, the creamer, that's Keto Cream, is really delicious. There's no ketones in it, but it's functional fat tech. It's functional fat technology. So it has MCT oil and something called C-Med in it. And it's really like a healthy fat creamer versus what's on our store shelves.
Yep.
And so we will add that to our coffee. Now it comes in a pack just like this, but a full pack of that in 1 cup of coffee is far too much. If you ever do try it, I just say rip open the top of your pack and maybe even dump your whole pack into a clear Ziploc baggie. And then just take like 1 tablespoon into your coffee. So your eyeballs are like, ooh, 2 tablespoons was my sweet spot. And then you're also saving the rest of your pack for like 2 more days. Unless you drink 3 or 4 cups of coffee at a time.
In fact, I think one of those, I think just the regular keto cream is on like 50% off today because they've been doing those 50% offs. But I agree with you, Erica, because I had done that as well. I made the mistake of doing 1 whole pack in 1 coffee once, and that was terrible. I didn't even finish it. Because truly you only need a very small amount.
Yeah.
And they're very tasty.
But Pam, you would love to try the pros that we're talking about. So it's called Keto OS Pro. And check those out. But now I'm just going to say this, and I want everybody else to listen too, because we all get into like how Brenda was like, I love the mint. And like everybody starts to love them. I've helped a lot of customers that are like really clipping along and like drinking their nat. And they're like, I lost this much weight, or I feel great, and da 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 da. And then like 3 or 4 months later, we have a conversation or a check-in, and she'll say, I'm stalled at 17 pounds. No, not to pick on, but it's kind of like that. And I say, well, okay, that's a stall can happen, by the way. But I say, tell me more things of what you're doing. And I'm like, okay, all the way to the beginning. Like, what are you drinking every day? And so we'll just call this lady Kim. And Kim says, well, every morning I drink, a nat. And then for lunch, I have a pro because I love the mint. And then in the afternoon, instead of a nat, I just drink a chocolate swirl pro. And I'm like, oh, so you're really only having 1 nat is what I'm hearing you say, Kim. Is that right? And she's like, yes, because I just love those other flavors. So I just drink a flavored nat in the morning. And I'm like, okay, but remember, the pro does not have as much ketones as the nat. So remember what I said at the beginning, the nat is one of the only products that elevates your ketone blood levels to the highest level. The protein does not elevate your ketone blood levels as high as this. It's a protein, number 1, just like proteins are in the stores everywhere. But what is special about ours is it has ketones. So it's a protein with a bunch of ketones, but nowhere near as much as this. And so what that tells you probably, and obviously, but just to kind of hit that home, she's not getting into ketosis for the rest of the day, really, after this first morning drink. And her stall is because of that. So remember, this is the wheelhouse. This is the 1-2 times a day that's putting you into ketosis, giving you energy, mood, focus, fat burning, appetite suppression. A protein will fill you up, and oftentimes it really does kick that craving, and it does make you feel less hungry because a protein does that. But ketosis is what gives you the highest level of appetite suppression. Don't worry about it if you do this on the now and then with protein. Just do what you want to do. Like we said, there's no rules. You can just drink your favorites, but do not get in the rut of only going down to 1 of these and drinking protein the rest of the day because you like the chocolate swirl.
Good question. And just for what it's worth, I think all of you are on the VIP Smart Ship program. And if you're not, we can answer questions about that. But since you are, just remember there is a VIP access that has additional products. And to Pam's point, don't be afraid to check on that, almost like a
I
couple
do
times
too.
a week because they'll sneak products in there and you'll be like, oh my gosh, like you serious? Like right now I can totally get the chai keto pro. Let's go.
Well, we're gonna watch for it for you, Maggie, because
Thank you.
yeah.
Watch for Miami vibes for me.
Oh, Miami vibes.
You know what? We could probably find somebody that might even has a stash. Yeah, it was a great one. That was kind of like berry colada, kind of. Or
Yeah, it's
Ooh.
like a pina colada. It tastes like a drink I drink in Mexico.
That's like,
Hawaii. That's what I thought too.
does anybody like any questions that are just stumpers or like especially like Pam and our other new guest? I don't know who this person is that's kind of off of screen here, but yeah, go ahead if you have anything that you want to add.
No, I don't.
Okay,
Okay.
good.
I'm just enjoying listening to everything. Thank
Okay,
you.
that's great. Yeah, you know, really, I guess I'll say one last thing and then anybody can share. You know, this is not a diet and this is not strict. Chris said it best. It's the easiest diet I've ever been on. And I know she just used that word in a sweet way, but you know, she'll admit she knows the drink is not a diet, but her diet has changed. And so I just am so truthful to people. This is like you found something that just kind of was like a key and it kind of unlocked like a whole different belief system in yourself to like change things. And you didn't really see it coming. It's really, if you really want to learn and absorb into really the power of ketosis, just go into the groups and watch the videos. The health benefits of being in ketosis are just mind-blowing. And nobody has asked health questions, which we kind of brought up initially. You know, we're not doctors, but just go type in the group experience ketones, diabetes, or thyroid, or menopause, or anxiety. Ketones have such effects on all of the neurological cascades in our body. They really are a calming effect. That's a major benefit of ketosis. But first and foremost, over anything, what ketones do for us is they give our brain more oxygen. And so we genuinely love when people start learning about ketones. And it's funny, we'll talk to so many people and we rarely talk about all the weight they're losing. We just talk about how much better they feel and how much more in control they are and that their mood has changed and that they feel a little pep in their step and that they feel like they're aging in reverse or whatever it might be. I've had so many ladies kind of explain like getting home from work and like cleaning out the entire garage. And she's like, so I don't really, you know, she'll say, I'm doing great. And I just, yeah, like I didn't sit down. And she said, that's really different from the old me who used to plunk down on the couch at 7 o'clock. And now I'll just go clean a closet just because I feel like I want to, or go for a walk or whatever it is. And people just start to unlock feeling better. So ketones provide your brain more oxygen, which provides this entire cascade like down through your organs in your body. But ultimately, it's making you flip the switch from wanting to put foods in your mouth that you just don't need at all those times of the day when you think you're hungry, you're probably thirsty. And honestly, if you ever want to test that theory, when your tummy grumbles, just go drink a bottle of water. You can go another 2 or 3 hours just with water. But now ketones are just a complete game changer. So in essence, this is not a diet, but your diet will change. But we say it's a lifestyle. And we haven't worked too hard other than just never missing the drink. We drink 2 or 3 a day, sometimes 2, mostly 2, I should say. We didn't go up to 2 packs for a long time. And Pam, I forget if it took you a little longer to get up to 2, but I think you guys and Chris, are you doing 2?
Mm-hmm.
And Maggie, are you doing too?
Yep.
Amanda said she is. And so, but not everybody starts with 2. Now, the premise of Prove It, when they introduce the product, they say drink 1 in the morning and drink 1 in the afternoon, and you're going to understand ketosis within your first 10 days. Bill and I say, that's awesome. And you can totally do that. You might have a bathroom visitor too. And that's not a scary thing, but you know, we don't want you to go through an experience that's uncomfortable for a few days. So you can start with 1, and whenever you want, you can move yourself up to 2. But if you get into this routine and this lifestyle where it sounds like you're really having good experiences, you know, and putting forth like that you're here learning and trying and getting other people just the information, it's just not a hard thing. Like Chris said, it's the easiest thing really when you break it down. Just drink them and do you, but do something else that you think you want to change. Like give yourself the self-care you deserve, and just things will just start to kind of unfold. It's a little bit of an evolution. It is a mini marathon, not a sprint. But where you look back on, I know if Chris looked back on where she started, she can really see how far she's come. But I know she still is like, all right, I want to get, you know, this many more pounds or whatever. And that's awesome, because that just means like she's really understanding that she can probably do that. So that's what it is in a nutshell.
Yes, I agree. I don't think I could have done it on any of the other diets that I have tried in the past. And you're right. I don't feel like it is a diet, because you just you drink it, you're not hungry. You know, I like the keto recipes because they taste good. I make them ahead of time, and I do enjoy it.
That's awesome.
So are there recipes on the website, or Pam, that you're just your special thing?
Daughter, she sends me, I say, what am I going to eat for breakfast? And she sent me this one with cream and
the chia seed pudding.
I mean, that you make ahead and you have it for the week, and it's so good and it's so filling.
So that was a chia seed pudding.
Pardon?
Was it a chia seed pudding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Pam, are you in the group Experience Ketones? Did Pam put you in that?
Yes.
Yes. That group has recipes. And you'll just stumble upon them. So when you scroll down, just like it's a Facebook feed, and you just see all the things, and you can do that until you fall asleep at night or whenever you're sitting on the couch, you know what I mean? But you can go to the little magnifying glass. So this is a little tip. If you want sweet treat ideas, go to the group Experience Ketones and type in the word sugar. Just because it's a key word in the recipes, they use a monk fruit sweetener. They don't use, you know, regular granular sugar, but because you use that key word, it's going to pull up a lot of sweet recipes. But otherwise you could even type in broccoli or cheese or whatever keyword. But just on the now and then, well, I was going to say, is there a guide or a file on there that might house recipes? There is, yeah.
There is. I can send it.
Yeah. Show her how to do that, Pam.
Yeah.
But you'll see them. But you know, to Chris's point, you don't have to do those recipes. Like this didn't come with like, now you better go make the chia seed tonight. But like how she really is so truthful about it, you just get so into the recipes because they really are so fitting to what your appetite wants. Because you just will not crave and want some of the things. And so do you do alternative recipes right now, Pam, with any cooking, like with sweetener or with, like, let's just say like cauliflower, mashed cauliflower? Have you ever had that versus mashed potatoes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you get my point. So yeah, those recipes are all full of like that alternative thing. And then once you kind of go to mashed cauliflower, you're like, who would ever eat a mashed potato? If you really fall in love with that, you kind of don't miss it as much.
Yep.
Yeah,
I was just curious about it because I'm always looking for recipes.
Yeah, you're going to find them. Pam will direct you. Pinterest is obviously one major vortex of life. So you could go on Pinterest and find them too. but Experience Ketones provides them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Awesome.
Thank you all for
So
showing up.
Thanks a lot for the info.
Yeah, I'm glad
Yeah.
you're doing great and just getting started. And Brenda, you're still doing awesome.
Have a good night. I have to get going.
Hey, thank
Okay.
you for your
I
time.
love your tree, Brenda.
Thank you.
I don't have mine up yet.
Thank you guys for coming on. Pam, your tree's gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Well,
All right.
yep. Really appreciate everyone's time.
Yeah.
Thank
We're
you.
Have a
happy
good
to
night.
share. Thank you guys all. Nice to meet you,
Nice
Pam.
to meet you all.
You too.
Yep.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.
Guys.